around, so got a tag on. Why should I play the Roman fool and die upon mine own sword? Whilst I see lies, the gashes do better upon them. And enter Macduff to slay Macbeth. It's the last scene that Macbeth plays in. So, I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories. That's who I am. That's what I do. So I'm here to tell you a story about how I met and what a single gray door means to me. This gray door was quite ugly. It's a very metal, just metal gray painted door with a small window on the side. The window doesn't lead anywhere. The window doesn't mean anything. The window just shows what's outside. And what's outside is a pod. The door is a jail cell. I found myself there feeling much like Macbeth at that very moment. So, if y'all been around for a while, you heard my wife give a part of her story. So I'm not going to go into all that again because it's already been talked about. I was a Satanist before. There was abuse in the household. We found ourselves in jail. And in jail, I was brought into a violent offender's pod and put into a jail cell with someone, and I just had a mattress on the floor. It was no more than I deserved. You know, I was not a good person, and I knew that. And I knew better because I was raised to be better. I was taught to be better. But I thought I knew better. And I made choices that led me to that spot. I was put in a jail cell with a man with issues with drugs. He'd already been to prison twice. He was facing his third strike. You know, third strike, that's 15 years right there. And then whatever drug on top of that. This man knew that he was on his way to prison for the third time, and probably for a very long time. He witnessed to me. You know, he had a problem. He was addicted. That's why he was there again. He didn't want to be addicted, but he continued to fight it, and he continued to lose. This man was also taken from his household at a young age because his parents were satanic. He was put into the system, a product of the system. And this man was the one that was going to witness to me, to get me to pull my head out of my butt and figure out how to live life. Now, God does a lot of stuff, and we all know it. This man had already been in prison twice. He left on probation. Probation. He got 3 years of probation on his third strike. I saw this man read 1 Corinthians chapter 13 aloud, day in, day out, trying to memorize it. The whole thing. So that left me alone in that cell. You know, there wasn't too many white people in that place. There was only, at the most, during my time there were 3. You know, it's very, very dark in Durham County Jail. A lot of racial profiling and stuff like that happens. But that time where I was alone, that's when I began to wrestle. God wrestled me, grabbed a hold of me, wanted me to listen, wanted me to know, wanted me to understand what He's trying to teach me. That door sealed off my womb, second womb, rebirth, regrowth. I read the Bible daily. I prayed, practiced fasting, did everything that the Bible said I should do. claim my faith because it wasn't my first time there. I was scared to death I was going to lose my wife. My wife's a Satanist. Ain't no way she's going to stay married to a Christian. So, while I was still in jail, picked up the phone, called my wife, said, "Sweetheart, something I got to tell you. I've become a Christian." And a pause. And then I hear a sigh. And then I hear a little bit of a laugh. "Good, I have too." We never talked about it. We never discussed it. We were separate, completely disconnected. The only intercourse that we had was writing to each other through mail that's red going out, red coming in. No privacy. You have no privacy. And you are all alone. It's through that I first got to really see what God is truly capable of doing. Not only did he do it to me, he did it to my wife, who had never had faith, that had so much scar tissue around faith that it's a miracle that she even opened her ears to hear it. God's not done with us. I know that. We're just starting. In that place, when I got another cellmate, I told him one night, I said, "I will never forget that door. That door to me is a symbol of my faith as much as a cross is to the average Christian. That door is the thing that I go back to every time I'm struggling, every time that I am concerned about where I'm going to go. Where is the money going to come from to pay this next bill? Where's my next meal going to come from?" I go back to that door. Every time I feel my faith start to shake or waver, I go back to that door. That door reminds me of where I came from, and more importantly, where I do not want to go back to. That door reminds me of the dark. It reminds me of those dark days. That door, ugly, about the same size as one of those. The window's about the same size. That door, I will never forget. I still remember a few of the phrases on it. I still remember a couple of names. Because that's the thing you do in jail. You write your name on the wall. Why? Who knows? It's just a thing you do. Ecclesiastes is an interesting book. It's not one I would advise people that are dealing with depression reading. But those of you that are thinkers, that are philosophers, that's definitely a book that I would suggest reading. And those of you that's dealing with anxiety, I would also read it. Now in that book, there's many, many lines of everything is meaningless. But also, over and over and over, enjoy what God has given. Enjoy the gifts that you have been given. Live life. Because it doesn't matter. You can't take any of it with you. These are the gifts that we've been given here. This is what we've been given now. Not what we're going to have later. But it also tells, chapter 11, verse 7, I think. It has this interesting dichotomy to it. Those of you that have lived a long life, enjoy each and every day. But don't forget the dark days. You will find dark days. Dark days will come. You'll have many of them during your lifetime. But in those dark days, that's where your faith really builds. So just take a moment to think, what is your symbol? What is your rock? What do you go back to when you're wavering, when you're struggling? What's your goal? Now we'll leave with something from the Ione Abbey worship book. God, our Creator, your kindness has brought us the gift of a new day. Help us leave yesterday and not covet tomorrow, but accept the uniqueness of today. And also from Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 7, verses 20 through 23. Remember, there is no one on earth so righteous as to do good only and never make a mistake. Don't worry about all the things that people say, so you don't hear your servant cursing you. After all, you know that you've often cursed others yourself. That's part of my story. Amen.
Amen.